Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome to A Better World with Adrian. Welcome to the podcast. I am so happy and grateful to be here with you. I'm grateful to be alive. I'm grateful for the sunshine on my skin and the wind that moves the trees and just the fact that a butterfly landed on me earlier today. And I'm just sending you this energy and this frequency of every single moment, there's magic. And I recently turned 35. And it's interesting because I saw photos of me when I was 25 and I look younger now. I'm so much happier. I'm like way more fit. And it's just amazing. Like all of that is just like bullshit. And it's because of this joy. It's because of this frequency of like, I'm living my divine purpose and I'm letting life delight me. And I'm in the state of play and magic. And it's not about never having hard moments. If you listen to the episode before this one about the eclipse gooey goo, I talked about, viscerally purging emotions and like shaking and screaming and crying. And I believe that's part of this frequency as well, because if you numb yourself to any edge of life, for example, if you numb yourself to pain, you will never feel joy. You will never feel bliss. You will never feel ecstasy. You will never feel this limitless magic. And I'm just so grateful to be here with you. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. And before I get into today's episode, if you do want to go deeper with me in this work in New Earth Elite, there are currently two ways you can do so. One-on-one consults. I've been doing 25-minute sessions that it's like a high voltage pattern interrupt where you and I sit down with your astrology, one particular goal, challenge, thing you want to shift in your mission and they're just life changing. It's also an opportunity for you to sit down with me and really chart out like what you would want your mentorship to be. You can ask me anything. This is the way that you can experience what it's like to work with me one on one before you jump in with a full, 6 month commitment into mentorship. Now, is all mentorship inside New Earth Elite 6 months? No. The people that get the best results work with me for at least 6 months, and then it just so happens that honestly, this work is life changing and it's a training room. And so most of my clients, we work together for several years. And it's like, even when people take a break, they somehow come back. It's like, it's just so amazing. It's truly a fleet of soul family committed to ambition and spirituality and truly anchoring the light. So if you're interested in working with me in New Earth Elite, in all of this work, what we're going to jam on today, one-on-one consults and then one-on-one Lux mentorship. I'm booking spaces for the rest of 2026 and into 2027. So I'm booking VIP days for fall and winter of 2026. And then my, of course, long-term one-on-one Lux. So if you're interested, the links to both consults and mentorship are in the show notes. You can always find everything at adrianschroeder.com. So let's just drop into the body and take 3 deep breaths, reminding you, me, all of us that like it's a miracle that we can commune together in this way. Like technology is a miracle. And I feel like it's important to remember that because there's so much bullshit and noise out there about AI. And there's people who love AI, there's people who are like anti-AI. Like Like I saw this hashtag the other day that was like fuck AI. And I was just like, honestly, you want to know the first thought I had? I was like, everybody who uses that hashtag is going to have fertility issues because fertility issues come from anger and honestly hatred in the body. And of course, lack of correct nutrition and environment and all of those things. But like most fertility issues on this planet are because of anger and deep energies that are dark force energies. So it's like fuck AI, like that's not a thing. It's like all of these, when you're fighting for a cause, like you're automatically in a state of fighting. You're choosing to be at war. Of course your body's going to have issues. So I just want to bring forward this perspective of technology is fucking magic and we get to use it to advance the light and it's not about right or wrong or pro or anti. All of that is a distraction. It's like, wow, Age of Aquarius, we're birthing it, and we get to just somehow connect from anywhere in the world on a podcast. Like, it's so amazing. So, it's very connected to the air element. So, let's just drop into the body and take 3 deep breaths together to connect our energy and also like create a little ceremony as we open this podcast that is about ceremony. So, feel your heartbeat. Maybe place your hand on your chest and just feel your heartbeat and just like thank your heart for beating and keeping you alive. It's pretty epic. Inhale through your nose, exhale out the mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth. And just bring forward an intention for this episode. Like, really decide right now that you are not going to be one of those people who like listens to a podcast and gets inspired for like 30 minutes and then never changes your life. Like, refuse to be that person. I think there's a certain energy of refusal and rejection that we get to leverage more of like, no, I just fucking refuse to be part of that chaos and I refuse to let that type of energy access me. And I refuse to participate in things that don't align me with my highest self and my destiny. And so I invite you to have a little bit of refusal of like, I refuse to just let this be another thing that I like consume. And I'm gonna pick one, at least one golden nugget and run with it and actually implement it in my life. And if you want to turn the dial all the way up, reach out to me and tell me because when you tell someone, oh, then you want to be congruent. You want to know what the biggest issue underneath everything is on our planet is people are not who they say they are. Somewhere in your life, you're not who you say you are because what you say and what you know and what you actually do are not the same thing. And it's not like a space of whipping yourself. It is about like reverence and respect and just deep alignment of like, I am the person I say I am. Like, I am congruent. Like, I'm not at war with myself because I say every day I'm going to work out and then I don't. Like, that's literally the crux of every single challenge in your life, in every single moment in your life. There's somewhere where you're not congruent. You're not the person you say you are. You're not the person. And here's the thing that happens. And this is getting into today's topic because it's all about holy habits, daily ceremony, the art of constraints, which I'm obsessed with. Um, Deep down, there's a part of your life that you don't even respect the way you're living. And it's not about perfection. It's not about not having challenge. Like I literally sent a message the other day where I was like there was a challenging experience. Welcome to entrepreneurship. Welcome to running a company. And I was like, okay, this is challenging and I don't like this. But like, what's my next move of like being in full integrity? And I communicated something that honestly I didn't want to communicate. And it was the truth. And so I was like, I'm squeaky clean in my integrity right now. Like, is it what I desire? Is it, like, is this like a vision board experience? No. And I'm like, I'm squeaky clean. I'm operating squeaky clean in integrity. And that's what it's like, are you the person you say you are? And if you're not, then deep down, you don't even respect yourself. And then that's what creates all of the other surface level things. And so I digress. That's a really, really, really important part of this episode. And so that could even be a big thing that you just explore for yourself of like a golden nugget you want to walk away from this podcast with of like, where am I lying about who I am? I say I'm one person. I say I value health. And then, oh, I ghost my workouts. Oh, I keep eating that shit that I know hurts my body. Or I keep eating like more than is correct for my body. Why do I do that? Common sense is not common practice. That's the crux of the situation. If if it was easy, we would all be billionaires, trillionaires, have six-pack abs. We would all be with the loves of our lives, having the most amazing sex every day and living our soul purpose. And we would already be in new earth, right? Common sense is not common practice. You have got to be constantly, relentlessly, consistently closing the gap between who you say you are and who you actually are being. And then when you're on this path of growth and mastery, you're like, this is the person that I'm choosing, this next level. And then you're constantly closing the gap. It's the bigger the gap there, the bigger the challenge in your life. And when it all comes together, it's not about not having challenge. You're going to have insane challenge. You're going to have insane joy and ease, but you're a maverick. You're not like everybody else. You're living outside the law. I'm not encouraging you to go break the laws. I will say most laws they're made, it's matrix shit. Like one of the things I love about Elon Musk is that he's like, this is my vision. I'll just get them to change the laws. Like why am I accepting that as a fucking limit when I am a child of the creator? Like whatever, like it doesn't matter. Like I also I really like using him as an example because so many people have so many opinions about him in the world and it's like do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Do you want to be right or do you want to have all of your dreams come true? Do you want to be right or do you want to live your soul purpose? Drop the judgment, feel better, go with your eyes within and ask yourself, okay, what about his frequency am I actually like low-key jealous of? That's really what it is. And yeah, it's an important consciousness to carry. And to be honest, like I don't even know much about like I don't consume propaganda. I don't believe what the talking heads say on the screens. I believe my intuition. If something important in the world is happening, I will find out about it. It's not about having your head buried in the sand, but it is blocking out 99.9% of things because it is fucking bullshit designed to take you out of your power. Because what happens when you're obsessed with like critiquing someone like Elon? You're not looking at yourself. You're not living your soul purpose. You're not up leveling. And then whoop, the matrix got you. Whoop, you got hoodwinked. And like I'm in this like playful energy of like It's not that serious. It's like we're building a better world. Yes, we're channeling prophecy. Yes, we are going toe to toe with our shadows and our trauma and our bloodline patterns and shattering all of these normalized cages that people live in as pioneers. And it's not that serious. And when you can stay in this state of play, it's like you care a lot, but it's like, here's the thing. It's not about not giving any fucks. It's about giving a lot of fucks about the things that matter and dropping all other fucks. So reallocate your fucks. And if you don't like the word fuck, then I am not the mentor for you. Okay? Oh my goodness. So the inspiration for today's episode really came through because, as you know, I'm an oracle, I'm a channel, and maybe you're new here, welcome. I'm an oracle, I'm a channel, I'm a medicine woman. My shaman name is White Star, and I also combine that with high performance. So, this is truly a unicorn space that combines high performance, unconditional excellence, ambition, success, wealth, purpose, provision, like entrepreneurship, truly just like holding power and wielding it. Honestly, everything the spiritual space has been missing for thousands of years. Um, that combined with just like deep, potent healing and alchemy and spirituality and mastering the unseen realms. I get titles, I get messages about what would be correct to teach on, and I got this title just came through during a meditation, and it came through because actually I I live a life, the past 3 years have been insane. um and I've grown more in the past 3 years than I grew in the previous 30. And that's honestly the vibe. Like, if we're talking about, I don't believe in 10x anymore. 10x is so 2020. I believe in 100x because I've seen way too much. I've seen what creator can do. I can see what happens when my clients and I do breath work, nervous system reset on repeat, repeat, repeat. I've seen what happens when you leverage astrology. It's not 10x return on investment. It's fucking 100x because it's the ancient codes. It's the creator. So I live this global lifestyle now where I am just I move around a lot. I go to different land where I'm called, and I was around my birthday, I'm like, okay, what do I want this year? Where do I want to be? And I started like looking at the map, and I had this moment of overwhelm because it was like the world is your overwhelming oyster. And I think a lot of people are actually scared of freedom because it's easier for someone to tell you what to do than be radically responsible for this level of decision-making power in your life. And that's also why I don't work with beginners. I'm like, you've already done like a lot of shit before you work with me um on your personal growth journey. Um I was looking at the map though, and I was like, okay, if you can go anywhere in the world, like it's not helpful. My brain is like, I'm like, but what are the constraints? And this is where the art of constraints comes in, um, is that there's an art form to it. Like, chaos is not actual freedom. Like, freedom is not a free for all. Freedom is you choose your own restrictions, you choose your own constraints. The rule is there are no rules, but you got to make up the rules. It's not about having a life with no rules. It's about, and this is where the spiritual space is so leaky and so out of integrity and so honestly negligent in channeling the light, is they're like, I'm a free spirit. And it's like, you're not actually free. You're fucking scared of your own power and you have no discipline. You're afraid to make a choice. Like, that's why people that are logical and successful, once they get a hold of this work with me, they just explode in magic and miracles and potential and new levels of success because they're already people that take radical responsibility and like are already in like this high voltage energy of and frequency of ambition and actually building shit. But like freedom is not a free for all. Freedom is I choose my own constraints and it's an art and it's a playground and it's like no rules, no rulership. It's like if there's no thing about freedom is the water. If there's no cup, you're not drinking that water. It's chaos. It's chaos. So it's about, I was like looking at the map and I'm like deciding, I'm like, okay, what are my constraints? I'm like, okay, it's got to be by the sea or in close proximity to the sea. And I just started saying all of these things. Like, I do love, I mean, I lived in Chicago for a decade for crying out loud. And I didn't realize when I was living there, like, maybe I did realize it, but I just like, didn't think about it very often, but it's like this energy of you don't realize you forget you're living in like one of the biggest, most expansive cities and like intense cities in the world while you're there when you've like been there for a long time. And then I left and went to Maui, which was the total opposite. It was so slow. It was so slow. It was good for my nervous system in a lot of ways. And then also I was like, can somebody just like cut me off in traffic? And when I say traffic, I mean there's no traffic on Maui. It's like there's one main highway that like has two lanes on each side, like going up to Haleakala. Other than that though, it's like two lane, just like winding roads. It's life is an adventure. It's so fun. But I was like, will somebody literally just cut me off? And like, where is the ambition? Where is the speed? So I was just playing with these constraints for like how I want the next year to look. And I'm like, okay, I want to spend this amount of time in France because I'm obsessed with France. I'm obsessed with how I feel in France and Paris and all the Mary Magdalene. And just like, I'm like, I want to spend this amount of time in France. I want to spend this amount of time in Greece. I'm going to spend this amount of time in the US. It's like a loose outline because I allow myself to be guided. However, I started playing with constraints and I was like, ooh, this is fun now. Like I have these colors I want to paint with that are like exclusive to me that I'm obsessed with. And so it really is like you've got to be doing that in your life. Like literally no one is telling you how you're supposed to live your life. And maybe they are, but only because you're allowing them to, right? You've got to get really real on what are the constraints. This is your life is a blank canvas of art. What are the constraints? You know? And I also wanted to bring this forward. Holy habits is my term I coined. It is this Virgo magic. It is it is habits that are portals to the divine out of, I call it the trifecta of cherishing yourself. Self-love, self-respect, and self-trust. Okay, that's how you know you're really cherishing yourself. If you don't have those three on lock, then you don't see yourself as a child of God yet. You could journal about it, you could talk about it, but if you're not living it, it literally isn't real. Just like when I say, okay, tell me what you value. And people are like, I value my health, I value my relationship, I value personal growth. And I'm like, okay, show me your calendar and show me your bank account. It's like, oh, you say that you value your relationship, but I don't see a date night in your calendar. You don't value it. Oh, you say you value personal growth. Meanwhile, I see a lot of your cash flow going to things that actually hurt your body and things that actually, like, you're investing in all of these trips with people that make you revert back to your old self. and you say you value personal growth, show me where you're putting your money where your mouth is on that one. And then it's like, oh, but I don't, coaching is whatever investment. And it's like, we got to get really real with ourselves, okay? And this is some big Virgo energy. I'm recording this at the beginning of Virgo season 2026. It's the first stable Virgo season since 2024, perhaps the end of 2023. I think 2024 actually, because the South Node was in Virgo for 2 years, and so we were in a karmic purge process. And Virgo rules health, wellness, daily ritual, daily routine. It is earth, medicine, it is service, it is wellness, it is purification, it is discernment. Virgo sees things perfectly. And so they're working backward from perfection, right? And that's why Virgos are so detail oriented. And it's like if you're gonna hire someone to be your assistant, hire a Virgo. Hire a Virgo. For real. Especially, with AI, people are like, "Oh, are assistants even going to be viable anymore?" I People who value relationships and have done things based in energy and are living their soul purpose, AI will never touch that human connection. So if you're someone who wants a human assistant, a personal assistant that knows you, like that, people are going to start paying you more. They start paying more for that. It's like, I want a human assistant. I don't want an AI. Okay, it's a premium. Great. That's why people are like, oh, like, are you concerned about your online business with AI? And I'm like, no, because I've never done things that robots do. I'm actually going to get a raise. I'm actually going to, like, everything's going to get better and better. So again, that's my perspective on that. Um, With this frequency of holy habits, though, it's about really your body is a portal, your body is a temple. And you've got to, that's the art of constraints as well. People discipline, when you think about the word discipline, and disciple from the Bible, which Bible sounds religious, but Bible is just an ancient text that has codes for how to master the physical world in it, which they don't tell you that in church. Why? Because they want you to be a little puppet, okay? The church hijacked the ancient codes. Let's be real, okay? Um, you've got to, a disciple is someone who has command of their brain, and they are not at the mercy of what they see. They have allegiance, they have mastery, they have command of their brain, of their mind. They rule the mind space to create whatever they want, regardless of circumstance. That's a disciple, right? That's Christ consciousness. That's Yeshua codes. What a lot of people don't realize when you come work with me, men that come work with me in New Earth Elite, you you think you hire me for like all of these things, right? At the end of the day, what are you actually getting? You're getting a DNA mutation into your Yeshua coding, into your Christ consciousness embodiment on this planet. It's so powerful. Like my Mary Magdalene codes are the perfect geometry to do that. And I never thought I would be specializing in working with men. And then Creator just keeps sending me all these men. And then I start having these visions, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm supposed to work with men. I love it. So, yeah, it's just holy habits. They're these portals in your life. They're portals of self-respect, self-trust, and self-love in your life. Like it's discipline is not a punishment, it's self-respect. And I think, it's not about being hard on yourself, but it is holding yourself to a higher standard of like, I'm a child of God. I do my workouts. I'm a child of God. Like, why would I not? I'm a temple. I'm a child of God. I eat only organic food. I don't, and I'm saying this with so much grace and so much love because I do understand that it is challenging to break a habit. It is challenging to be honest, everything in your life right now is a result of your habits, the way your habitual ways of thinking, actions, being. Are there energies bigger than us that can influence our lives? Absolutely. I'm at the tail end of the most insane astrology transit of my life. Literally, Pluto just going back and forth over my natal Saturn, the planet of death and the planet of limitation and restriction. Literally, just for 3 years straight. Okay. I understand that. And your habits are creating everything. So, we're never at the mercy of astrology. We're never like in victim consciousness with astrology. I'm a free will empowerment astrologer. So with holy habits, it's like you've got to, every up level in your life requires a change in your habits. And you're actually really, really good habitually at creating what you don't want. Like you have a habit of that. So you're actually really, really good at habits. Everybody's really, really good at habits. We are creatures of habit. It's how do you shift that and leverage it on your terms to get what you want? Well, that's when common sense has got to become common practice. And your nervous system plays a huge role in it, which is why what I do with you in breath work, which by the way, again, consults are available. I'm booking one-on-one mentorship clients to start now. Whenever you're listening to this, by the way, if you want to work with me, say you're listening to this in 2028, just go to my website. All of the current offerings will be there, okay? Or email me. I wonder what's going to be happening in 2028. A lot. A lot. So, you've got to get your holy habits on lock. It's not a punishment. It is an opportunity. It is a gift. It is worshiping yourself. It is worshiping yourself because you are creator. So it's like every single time, I'm just going to use, for example, like every single time you don't you like know something's not good for you. Let's just use an example. Scrolling. You're like, okay, I'm not going to scroll. And then you go scroll. You are flipping the bird to God. You are distancing yourself from creator. You are saying, I disrespect the creator because you disrespected yourself. I'm not saying this is easy. I am saying this is the intimate crux of the work we get into. I led in, what year was that? In 2025, I led a mastermind called Holy Habits Hive Mind. And the bee was our spirit guide, and we were focusing on holy habits, mastering holy habits. And most of that container was about people's food habits because food is one of the most like intense forces of conformity that we have. It's like people get really offended if you don't eat their food. And most food is people poisoning themselves, especially in the West. So it's like, that food makes you feel like shit, but you eat it to people please the people around you, and then you feel like shit. You just distanced yourself from Creator. So it's time to make your habits holy. And when you have that deep, unshakable level of self-respect, self-trust, and self-love, and you're cherishing yourself, that's when your whole life expands. Like, it's not about grand sweeping gestures. I mean, sometimes it is about that. However, like, it's really like a lot of people reflect to me. They're like, how have you done A, B, C, D, E so fast? And it's like this overnight success. And it's like, what do you mean? I've been doing shit daily, whether it's been practicing an instrument starting at 4 daily. It's like people are like, you're so talented. It's like, by talented, do you mean I showed up and practiced for 5 hours a day for 15 years straight? That shit's not talent. That shit's not luck. It's discipline. It's holy habits, right? And so, and then you have no limitation on the art you can make because you have locked in these habits that will show up for you. Remember, we don't rise, we do not rise. No one in the world rises to their hopes. We all fall to the level of our habits. We all fall to the level of our training, okay? I'm so passionate about this. This is a huge thing we do in New Earth Elite. So I don't care who you are. I don't care what your net worth is. I don't care how successful you are or how behind you feel you are, which, by the way, you're not behind, you're right on time. And this gets to be your turning point. Like, you, everything you desire for the next level demands an up level in your physical health specifically and your holy habits because it's an identity shift. And you are not like, you are not what you write in your journal. You are the person you choose to be every single day, which what makes that up? Oh, your habits. And a lot of people got some real unholy habits out there. If it's something that you do that separates you from creator and love and self-respect and self-trust, that shit's unholy. And if it's something that brings you closer, it's holy. You know what I'm saying? The final part of this transmission I want to share, the daily ceremony. It's like Virgo is all about daily minutia. If we think about the axis in the zodiac, and constraints, discipline, refinement, discernment, all of that is very Virgo. This is a very Virgo coded episode. And if you're listening to this and you're like, Adrian, I'm not a Virgo and I don't have big Virgo placements in my chart, first, I want to say everybody has Virgo in their chart. You just, you know, let's work together so you can understand how it's showing up for you. And Virgo is very important for everyone for what we're doing here on Earth because it's an Earth sign. And we all came here on Earth in human bodies. One of the biggest challenges I see is people are either way too in the density of their body and like robotic and just in the matrix, or you're way too in the 5D and you're like a fairy all the time or whatever you might call it, like a what are those things called where you're like half horse, half human? I can't think of what it is. Or you're just like stardust or something, and you're just like totally out there in the 5D. It's like, we got to bring you back down into your physical body. You came to Earth as a human for a reason. So, you're here to transcend the limitations of the physical world by being in the physical world. You know what I'm saying? It comes through the portal of your body. And so Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo are all earth placements. They are key for everybody, especially if you're here to lead New Earth. We not build a new earth without major leverage of the earth placements. Can I get a hell yes? Okay. So there's daily ceremony. Like, what are the ceremonies in your life? Ceremony is one of my teachers once said to me is like the best magic is the magic you make up. And I think that, this idea of magic is very, very simple. Here's one example. Magic is yesterday I was at the store and for whatever reason, I like intuitively like I noticed this woman's glasses and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm obsessed with your glasses. They're so epic." And we're just like standing in the checkout. And she looked at me and she smiled and she had this like sheepish energy. And she was like, I literally was gonna go buy new glasses because I thought these made me look bad. She's like, I was literally gonna go to the store right after this. And she's like, I love these, but I just like felt self-conscious in them. And I was like, well, I'm your angel then. You look fabulous. And it's like, that's magic. I got an intuitive hit. And here's the thing where it's like when you're actually a channel. Like I didn't go through this whole thing of like having a thought and then like, oh my God, should I say it? Should I not? Like I didn't even think for 1 second. It just came through, right? The amount of hesitation people have, and that's very Virgo as well. Virgo is so in tune with like the perfection of how things can be and are meant to be that there's this insane destabilizing, like overthinking, people pleasing, hesitation energy with Virgo that literally cannot be. This is magic. I was like, that's fucking magic. Like I got that download because I decided I'm a channel for magic. And so what is a ceremony? It's the meaning attached to the rituals in your life. And these are some of the ancient codes, like coming back online. Like if you can make your life a living, moving prayer every single day, then your habits will automatically become holy. Like, what if you just decide for the next week, my life is going to be a moving prayer? I refuse to go into like this numbed out state of just going through the motions. I fucking refuse. I'm going to be tapped in, tuned in, tapped and turned on. As I say that, literally there's a hummingbird that just came to the window where I'm recording and just was like staring through the window. Like, are there daily ceremonies in your life? Like for one example for me is like even just like setting up for this podcast. Like the ceremony is I have my red roses and my flowers and I pick a few crystals that are like the energy. And so today they're very associated with abundance and love and the sacral chakra because I feel like there's so much going on with people like, and you may be experiencing this, but like people's inner child wounds are getting really, really activated with the South Node in Leo now. So if you have like a lot of like childhood trauma or memories coming up, like you're not alone. I literally had that like very severely last week. Which is what led me to record that eclipse gooey goo thing because I was like, I just feel like goo right now, and people need to know that goo's important. And it's actually like some of the highest leverage activity is to know how to metabolize your emotions, right? So, what was I talking about? Yeah, like the ceremony I just set up for this podcast and I always say like may I be a clean channel for a purpose greater than me. Like I want to get out of the way and I want creator to move through me for the correct message that's supposed to come forward, right? So, how can you add daily ceremony to your life? Like maybe it's your coffee. Like oh, people are obsessed. I don't, if you don't drink coffee, it's crazy because I didn't drink, I somehow made it all the way through undergrad and master's without drinking coffee. And when I say that, like, I was working three jobs and in the most intense, one of the most intense classical music conservatories in the world in my master's. I remember doing overnight shifts just so I could make rent. And my rent, literally, I remember it was in Bloomington, Indiana. Shout out, IU. It's so interesting. Like, it's just so interesting. And honestly, I feel inspired to make a special shout out to, I mean, I learned so much from all of the powerful mentors I had. And yes, there is, and continues to be extremely abusive teaching in classical music that I experienced starting when I started piano, age 4, age 5, and it went all the way up through. That's why I'm such a powerful coach and mentor because I just have insane levels of habit building and mastery and excellence that I now have combined with spirituality and self-love and alchemy, which is the creme de la creme. It's what creates every kind of lasting blessing. And it's rampant, everywhere. It's rampant in all conservatories everywhere. Like, and I was so blessed to earn the right to study with some of the most powerful teachers in the world in my craft, which was French horn and orchestral performance. And I learned so much, but I want to give a particular shout out. I studied with Dale Clevenger, who, a lot of stuff came out about him after he passed away. And it's so, so, so niche that probably most of the people on this podcast have no idea who that is. But like that man, like I loved that man and I still love that man. Like he gave me so much. And so I think there's something important about like not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Like even with the Elon Musk example, it's like like look at every person as a child of God. Like seriously. And it might, if there is actual like harmful behaviors going on, remove yourself. But like, I don't know why that came through. I think that message was for somebody out there. Um, so my teacher, Jeff Nelson, he really, before I even got to IU, he was such a confirmation for this path of like personal growth beyond your instrument. I remember I went to his like fearless camp the summer before I went to IU, or maybe it was 2 summers before. I was deciding if I was gonna go to IU. I was like, there's a whole very extreme process of like getting into the like auditions and like even getting an audition and all of these places. But I went to this and it was like I had such a breakthrough. And then I ended up going to that school, and it was I hired my first life coach when I was, oh, how old was I? 23. Oh my God. I don't even know how I paid for that. Brute force. Manifestation. But that started because of coffee. I don't know how I did that all without coffee. I would work overnight shifts and be in this insane conservatory. Um, but yeah, it's there when there are places in your path, there's just like you get guided and like that place holds a frequency of the transformation you went through there. And I have that for Bloomington, Indiana, which is very, very interesting. I did not plan on sharing any of that at all. But shout out to Jeff Nelson, changed my life. Also text me back because I texted you. Um, okay. There with like coffee, coming back to coffee, but like, can you make that a ceremony? I think it might be a ceremony and you don't realize it. Or maybe you're somebody who you just like run out the door every morning, but like if you love coffee or your tea or just like your morning ritual, like can you make it a ceremony? Like what if instead of like the coffee pot that makes it overnight and like you wake up to the coffee, you just like let yourself have a beautiful French press every single day of the week instead of like only on a Sunday and Saturday. And it's a daily ceremony of presence with your life, opening up the possibility of a new day. Like, and you just like smell the coffee grounds and maybe you foam a little milk with it if you take your milk with take your milk with coffee. If you take your coffee with milk, I do not. I'm a hardcore straight black girl. Um yeah, there's something really important to that about this idea of ceremony and just this idea also of like gratitude. All of this comes back to gratitude. It's like if you were actually deeply in tune with gratitude, you would live life differently. You would not, go through the motions and miss the moments of your day. You would be like, holy shit, future me is gonna miss this. Future me is gonna pray for this. I've been having some like powerful like core memories with family, particularly this past summer. And I like got so emotional last night actually because I was like, wow, like this is like these moments, like there's gonna be one day where like I can't call my mom and talk to her. There's gonna be a day where like I can't hug my dad. Like, and that sounds morbid. However, if you've listened to any of my episodes on my near-death experience, my car accident when I was 16, like the one of the most powerful things you can do to fully live your life and achieve your soul potential is be in real relationship with death of like this could all be over at any time. Like, are you going to leave it all in the court or not? And so I was just like in this ceremony because I have a ritual at the end of the day of like I play my drum and I sing and I just say thank you. It's like if you just make your whole day like a prayer of thank you and just infuse thank you into everything, you will automatically have better habits because you're like, is this habit saying thank you or fuck you? Like it's very simple. And yeah, just again double clicking on like common sense is not common practice. And like, there's an art to this, there's a magic to this. It does not need to be hard. It does not need to be harsh. It does, all of that is old paradigm. It gets to be fun and playful and magical and delightful and like a state of ease. You know what's actually hard? Having poor health. Being, that's actually hard. Now, there are instant gratifications you will miss out on, but you will overall, in the long term, have ease from holy habits. So may this bless you. May this serve you. May you take this forward with a golden nugget you're going to implement relentlessly. Let me know what that might be for you. Share this with a person on a similar frequency. And if you want to go deep into this work with me, book a consult. Or apply for one-on-one Lux mentorship. I'm so grateful and honored to serve you. And if you want to get really dialed on your habits, your health, all through this high performance lens, like your astrology chart literally says how you're going to have the best habits. Like it's very clear. And then based on the transits that are happening, we'll leverage different things. Also, Virgo has a lot to do with the daily minutia, daily work of your business, of your company because it's like somebody asked me if I had a marketing background one time and I was like, "No, I don't have a marketing background. I think it's just being an artist. Like I was told from a very young age and taught like no one's going to hand you anything. You are the person that creates all opportunities." So it was this very entrepreneurial spirit that I was given and especially in conservatory. I remember one teacher being like, you are the CEO of your life. And I just really took that to heart. I'm like, yeah, why would I work for someone else? I work for myself. I work for creator. I work for the art. I work for the art. Like that's honestly your sole purpose is to make your art. And most of you will channel it through a business because that's how we do. Um, it's written in your chart. Like the daily minutia that's going to create magic in your business, that's going to create prosperity, that's going to create impact. Like it's literally a blueprint, a how-to guide that I'm here to translate for you. And by the way, if you have deep rooted habits that have been challenging for you to change, I have so much grace for you. And I also deeply invite you to do the actual thing that will work, which is nervous system reset. Literally, your breakthrough is inevitable if you never quit. Now, if you're not willing to go deep to the root cause, then you probably will fester and swirl in the unhelpful pattern. But if you want to go to the actual root, that's how you know it's time to work with me in New Earth Elite. So, book a consult, apply for mentorship. I cannot wait to welcome you to this amazing space of high performance with a specific focus on health right now in fall of 2026. You know, our quadrants are health, wealth, happiness, and freedom. Nothing, you know what they say. A healthy man has a million dreams, a poor man has one. Or not poor. A healthy man has a million dreams, a sick one has one to be healthy, right? So, yeah, if you feel the call, let's work together. I can't wait to welcome you. It's time to step into a new identity, a new voltage, and be epic. So go out there, be the change, be the light, be the real you, make a stranger smile, and I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.